Alright, you guys, I wanted to show you the update I have for my Cyber Dragon Contact deck and a couple of the replays that I have for it. I do have replays for it this time. This deck is pretty fun. It's definitely not like master rank material, but if you're messing around in gold and platinum, I definitely feel like you can steal wins off of some tier 3 decks or like rogue decks with this. It is really fun to play. Um, First, we have three Cyber Dragon Hers because this is a level 1 monster that can be treated as Cyber Dragon, so it's a perfect target for machine dupe. And it's also treated as Cyber Dragon, so when you have Clockwork Knights out, or Clockwork Knight rather, you can contact your opponent's board away into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, which is the main thing you're going to do with this deck. Also, because a lot of decks do have machine monsters in them currently, even if you don't have Clockwork Knight out, you can still contact, and you'll see that in the replays. Next, we have two Cyber Dragon Nashter. So, this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. You can discard one other monster, special summon this card from your hand. If it's normal or special summon, you can target a machine monster with 2100 attack or defense in your graveyard, special summon it, and you cannot special summon monsters this turn except for machine monsters, which is fine. You can only use each effect of Cyber Dragon Nashter once per turn. So you're not going to use this effect too often, but the reason why Nashter is good, among a couple other reasons, is let's say you have more than one Hers in hand, or you have Hers in hand and it's dead, or you just don't need it. When Hers is sent to the graveyard, like period, when it just goes to the grave, so even if you discard it for Nashter's effect, uh, you can add one other Cyber Dragon from your deck to your hand, so you can get the OG. Hers also has the effect that if you special summon, you can make them 5 until the end of the turn. You can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except machine monsters, but you won't use that effect of Hers very often. Next, we have 3 Maxi. This card's insane. You should definitely be running 3 of it. 3 Cyber Dragon Core. This card is decent. Its name is always Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is normal summon, you can add a Cyber Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. If your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card. Sorry, if only your opponent controls a monster. So if you have monsters, you cannot use that effect. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. You can only use one Cyber Dragon core effect per turn, only once that turn. Core is good. Core is definitely good. I do feel like most of the time I summon it because it's a Cyber Dragon name, and also because it can help me deck thin, because I can go core, search emergency, search something else, or I can go core, and if I need to, search the Cyber Load Fusion. It lets me search that. Oh, yeah, Cyber Speller Trap. Next we have the 3 Ash. This is definitely good in this format. There's so many targets for Ash. The 3 Cyber Dragon, we're running 3 because it's really good with Machine Dupe, and being able to also just special summon it out and then contact things is really good. We're running 2 Galaxy Soldier, and I've actually considered cutting something and running 3 Galaxy Soldier, just because the effect is decent and is really live with hers as well. You can send one other light monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this from your hand in defense position. When it's special summoned, you can add another Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect to Galaxy Soldier once per turn. So you can only do the add once per turn, but it can add itself, so you can do a second one. And that's convenient because it basically lets you make a rank 5 exceed, and you can go into Nova, and then you can go into Infinity from there. So pretty decent. Next we have the Star Destroying Kaiju, and we're running it because it's a machine and it's easy to get rid of by contacting it. That's the reason why we're running this one. Next we have one Feather Duster. Back row can really be a problem sometimes when you're playing this deck, and being able to clear it just frees up a lot of options for you, so one Duster is good. 3 Machine Dupe, because you can target your Hers or your Nashter or your Cyber Dragon Core, and then beam 2 of the big Cyber Dragons out from deck, and you can use that to make a free Nova, which can make you a free Infinity, or you can put bodies on the board for fusion materials, or contact materials, or whatever else you need to do. but this card is just incredibly good in this deck because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 targets for it. So pretty good, and pretty much all the targets are searchable because of Cyber Emergency. Add one light machine monster that can't be normal summoned or set, or one Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. If the activation of this card in its owner's possession was negated by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can discard one card, add this card to your hand. You can only activate one Cyber Emergency per turn. So you definitely want 3 of these, let you see your stuff. If you brick it too often, then yeah, you can run 2, but personally I like 3. 2 Lightning Storm, because a lot of the time when I play this deck, I actually play this as a going second deck, so I can contact my opponent's board, and sometimes you need to break board or burn a negate, so that's why Lightning Storm is in here. It's your best friend. 3 Clockwork Knight. This is the card that makes the deck work. All face-up monsters on the field become machine monsters. Machine monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense, and machine monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. You can banish this card from your graveyard, discard a card, and add an Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Clockwork Knights once per turn, and you can only activate 1 Clockwork Knights per turn. 2 Called by the Grave. 1 Cyberload Fusion. This lets you fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as material by shuffling fusion materials listed on it into the deck among cards on your field and your face-up banished cards. But monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except fusion summon monsters. You can only activate 1 Cyberload Fusion per turn. This card's pretty good. I do like having the 1 of. It is just there when you need it. 1 Crossout Designator. So 2 Duality. Some people like running 3. I thought 3 was a little bricky. I actually might test running 3 again in the future. This card's very good for the deck. You tribute 1 light or dark monster, and you special summon a light or dark monster from your hand or extra deck with the same original type and level, but a different attribute. So the reason this is so good is Cyber Dragon's 5, and Chimera Rampage is 5. So you can use the effect to send cards to the graveyard and have the multiple attacks and basically cheat this out for free. The other thing is Chimera Forces Dragon is 8. Cyber Twin Dragon is 8. So if this you don't need this and you rather have this, you can say goodbye and get that one instead. Cyber Dragon is 10 and Mega Fleet is 10. So you can actually take Mega Fleet and swap it out for Cyber End if you wanted to. So all very good choices that you have. So I just wanted to point that out with Duality. Duality is just a very good card in this deck. Next we have 2 Nova, or 1 Nova. Why do we have 1 Nova? What did I do to this extra deck? I must have accidentally clicked it at some point. We have 2 Nova. You need 2 Nova because you're going to be running 2 Infinity. Nova has 2 level 5 machine monsters. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card. Target a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Once per turn, you can also banish 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand or face up for your monster zone. This card gains 2100 attack until the end of the turn. If this card is destroyed in your possession and sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 machine monster from your machine fusion monster from your extra deck. And the next we have Infinity, which is the main reason we're running Nova. We don't use those effects of Nova too often. We mainly just use him to cheat out Infinity. Infinity would normally be 3 level 6 light machine monsters, but you can also XYZ summon Cyber Dragon Infinity once per turn by using Cyber Dragon Nova as material and transfer its materials to this card. It gains 200 attack for every material it has. Once per turn, you can target a face-up attack position monster on the field. It can be on either field, your field, or your opponent's. Attach it to this card as material. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This card's pretty good. Next, we have 1 Zeus, because why wouldn't you run it in here? 1 Cyber Dragon Seeger. This card is okay, but I do find myself in situations where I do really enjoy using Seeger, and I'm happy that I have Seeger in the deck. So 2 machine monsters, including Cyber Dragon. Its name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. During each battle phase, if this card has not declared an attack, You can quick effect, target a machine monster with 2100 attack or 2100 or more attack. And for the rest of this turn, that monster gains 2100 attack and defense, and neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this monster. So you can boost one card and do a bunch of damage, but then you won't be able to do damage with Seeger. You can also have Seeger boost himself, but they won't take any damage. You can only use this effect, Cyber Dragon Seeger, once per turn. This card is decent. It sometimes makes your opponent have to play around something during battle phase, and it's okay. I definitely think it's worth running. Finally, we have Platinum Gadget, and this is just a personal preference. I have used this card quite a bit in this deck just to cheat something out with Special Summon. You could run something else, and we're going to go into tech choices in a couple of minutes. Platinum Gadget is definitely a decent card. 2 machine monsters, can't be used as link material the turn it's link summoned. During your main phase, you can special summon a level 4 lower machine monster from your hand to a zone this card points to. If it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a level 4 gadget monster from your deck. You can only use each effect of Platinum Gadget once per turn. So now we're going to go into tech choices. So Cyber Dragon Veer is a tech choice. I don't think it's a particularly good one. Its name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If you normally special summon a Cyber Dragon except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can only use Veer's effect once per turn. Each Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack and defense. Don't really care for it, but I do want to let you guys know that it's out there. Because it is a decent check choice. Then we have a Super Strident Blaze. You can equip it to a machine fusion monster. Opponent can activate cards or effects during your battle phase. At the end of the damage step, if the equipped monster is attacked, you can banish the Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. The equipped monster can attack an opponent's monster again in a row. Your other monsters can't attack the turn you activate this effect. This is mediocre. And then finally, we have Cyber Eternity Dragon. And this is another 10 that you could basically cheat out with duality. If you have a machine fusion monster in your graveyard, your opponent can't target this card with card effects, can't be destroyed by card effects. If this fusion summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Your opponent cannot target fusion monsters you control with card effects. They can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So if you like him, you would basically take out the Platinum Gadget and you would run him. You also have the option of Over Dragon, which is Cyber Dragon or one of our machine monsters. Must be fusion summoned. Send all other cards you control to the graveyard. Gains attack and defense for each card. Times 800 used for its fusion summon. This card can attack your opponent's monsters a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of fusion monsters used for its summon. You can run him. I personally don't like to. You also have the option of running Malefic Cyberhand and field spells. Once again, I personally don't like to. And I think that's it as far as tech choices for the main Cyber Dragon. Oh, I know we have Zwei. Become Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard only. You can reveal a spell in your hand. This card name becomes Cyber Dragon until the end phase. If it attacks, gains 300 during the damage step. This card is not very good. It's mediocre at best. Cyber Dragon Dre becomes Cyber Dragon in the field or grave. When it's normal summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragons become 5. You can't special summon monsters except for machine monsters the turn you activate this effect. And if it's banished, you can target one Cyber Dragon. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. This card's decent. You can run it if you want, if you feel like you're going to XYZ more. It's not a bad tech choice. Some people also run Cyber Rev System. I've kind of found the card kind of dead most of the time. It lets you special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard and it can't be destroyed by card effects. I feel like it's a little mediocre. And then of course you have Cyber Repair Plant as another good tech choice. If Cyber Dragon is in your graveyard, activate one of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, you can activate both and resolve them in sequence. You can only use one Cyber Repair Plant once per turn. So the effects are to add a light machine monster from your deck to your hand, or target a light machine monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. I feel like I have enough searching and I don't really need this. Proto Cyber Dragon's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field. This card is bad. Don't use it. And next we finally have, if you want to go for the OTK, you can run the one limiter removal. It's probably recommended going second. I think I actually might craft this if I continue running this deck for fun. But yeah, that's the deck. If you would like to go second, I would definitely recommend running this. You have Evenly and Lightning Storm to help clear board. You have the contact option with Clockwork Knight to help clear board. The deck is definitely pretty strong. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple replays. I got these right at the end of... Oops. I got these right at the end of the season in Master. These are both pretty quick replays, but they illustrate the point pretty effectively of what the deck wants to do. So this would have been a better going second hand, but I was still trying to go first at this point in time. They're going to Ash that, and I'm just going to be like, oh, great, okay. So I'm going to activate the Clockwork Knights, because I have 2 anyway. My opponent's going to do stuff. So all their monsters are now machines. So they're not going to be able to go into like their winged beast monsters that require winged beasts. So I am really glad I played the Clockwork Knight. And just because of that, they gave up that in the maxi. And regardless of whatever they brought out, I was just going to contact it away. Then I'm going to show you a much longer replay where there's actually interaction with my opponent. Instead of my opponent just saying, oh, I can't do anything because I'm running an archetype deck that requires one specific type of monster. That is one of the reasons why I do really like Clockwork Knight, is because if they are trying to make something that requires like a beast or something, they can't. Because everything's a machine. So here's Labyrinth. I'm going second this time, which is correct. I'm just gonna, right off the bat, go ahead and evenly match them. They can do their things, it's fine. So not a lot of value from that, but that's okay. They did summon a monster, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm going to get Ashed. That's okay, because I have Designator. I could have let Ash resolve, but I kind of wanted to try to catch up an advantage, because I know that Labyrinth can generate a pretty decent board, and I don't want that happening next turn. So we got Nashter. We're going to go ahead and do Machine Dupe. We're going to get 2 of our Cyber Dragons. We're going to go right into Nova. We're going to go Nova into Infinity. And we're going to Nashter, discard hers effect, add Cyber Dragon, link those into Seeger. And then we're going to end because we skipped our battle phase. So my opponent doesn't have much there. They set a card, which means they're probably not going to be able to use it because I have Infinity. I can't pump because I attacked with Seeger first, but that's okay. They're going to set, and it's going to be more of the same. Getting the Maxi there does really help me. And they're going to surrender because they didn't draw into anything. I have that negate, and I pretty much just got it going. But yeah, this deck is fairly decent. I do like it a lot. I don't really think that it's going to get you anywhere in Master rank. I feel like the deck is a little underpowered still, but it's getting there. It's a lot of fun. And if you guys liked it, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you suggest. And as always, this video is sponsored by W Energy. You can use code SirLargeGaming to get 10% off your order. The blue raspberry flavor is amazing. Link below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.